Blood has always carried secrets. It binds families together, but it also tears them apart when the truth comes to light. And now, as the season finale of Blood of My Blood approaches, every secret, every betrayal, and every sacrifice is about to come crashing down. The question isn't just who survives, it's whose legacy will define the future. From the very first episode, Blood of My Blood has been a story about more than just family ties. It has been about how far people are willing to go to protect their blood, to defend their name, and to hide the sins of the past. We began this season with quiet moments that quickly spiraled into storms of betrayal. Parents carried burdens their children could never fully understand. And children asked questions their parents were too afraid to answer. Each glance, each conversation, each silence hinted at truths waiting to be uncovered. The journey this season has taken us on has been filled with choices that cut deep. We've seen loyalties tested when old enemies returned with new power. We've witnessed friendships burn when ambition stood in the way of trust. And we've felt the pull of bloodlines, not just as bonds of love, but as chains of duty and expectation. One of the most haunting elements of this season has been the way the past refuses to stay buried. Letters discovered, whispers exchanged, and confessions forced into the light have reminded us that the choices of one generation always spill into the next. Every character we follow has been shaped, scarred, or saved by the blood they come from. And as these connections tighten, we've watched destinies form in ways that no one could have predicted. What makes this journey so powerful is how human it feels. Behind the drama and the spectacle, it is about parents who fear for their children, lovers who fight to hold on, and enemies who cannot let go. It's about the sacrifices made in silence, the promises whispered in the dark, and the heavy weight of knowing that blood never forgets as the season has unfolded. The stakes have risen higher with each passing episode. Every step has drawn us closer to a truth too dangerous to ignore. The seeds of betrayal have already been planted, and now we wait to see which ones will bloom into tragedy and which ones might reveal hope. But one thing is certain: the finale will bring every story thread together, leaving no secret untouched, no bond untested, and no heart unbroken. And so, before we look ahead to the shocking first look at the finale, we must remember the path that brought us here, a path carved by sacrifice, shadowed by betrayal, and sealed with blood. With every episode, the tension has grown heavier, almost like a storm cloud hanging over the story, waiting to break. Characters who once stood firmly side by side now find themselves on opposite ends of a dangerous divide. Promises that once felt unshakable now tremble under the weight of suspicion. The closer we get to the finale, the more the air is filled with unspoken threats, hidden glances, and choices that can no longer be avoided. What makes this build-up so gripping is how personal it feels. Every moment has been shaped by emotions that are raw and real. There is fear because the characters know that the truth can destroy them. There is guilt because the sins of the past are catching up with those who thought they could escape. And there is desperation because each of them is running out of time to make the decision that could either save or doom their family. The rising tensions are not only between enemies, but also within families themselves. Brothers question brothers, parents doubt their children, and alliances that once seemed unbreakable now stand on the edge of collapse. Every whisper carries the weight of betrayal, and every silence feels like the calm before an explosion. The show has woven this tension so carefully that even the smallest exchange of words feels loaded with meaning, as if a single slip could change everything. One of the most striking elements of this build-up has been the way trust has slowly eroded. Characters who once relied on one another are now second-guessing every action, every decision, every look. The finale doesn't just promise answers, it promises consequences. Every wrong step taken earlier in the season has stacked up, and now we are on the brink of seeing who will pay the price. As we move closer to the final confrontation, the energy is unmistakable. It is the kind of tension that makes you hold your breath, knowing something explosive is about to happen, but not knowing exactly when or how. The finale is set up not just as an ending, but as a storm that has been gathering since the very beginning. And when that storm finally breaks, No one will emerge unchanged. At the heart of blood of my blood lies something far greater than power or revenge. It is the raw, unshakable pull of family. Every conflict, every betrayal, and every secret revealed this season has been fueled by love and loss, by the desperate desire to protect those who carry the same blood. No matter how brutal the choices have been, no matter how far characters have fallen, each of them has been driven by the emotions that connect families across generations. The emotional weight of this story does not come from battles fought with swords or words, but from the moments when characters must look into the eyes of those they love and decide whether to protect them or betray them. It is in the quiet hesitation before a confession. It is in the trembling voice of a parent who must choose between truth and silence. And it is in the tear-stained faces of children who discover that their family is not what they believed it to be. This season has reminded us that family is both strength and weakness. It gives characters the courage to stand against impossible odds, but it also exposes their deepest vulnerabilities. Every father who hides the past, every mother who carries an untold burden, every child who feels the sting of secrets together, these emotions form the beating heart of the story. What makes this emotional core so powerful is that it mirrors our own lives. We may not live in castles or carry ancient legacies, but we know the feeling of wanting to protect the ones we love, even when it hurts. We understand the weight of silence, the cost of sacrifice, and the hope that blood will be enough to keep us together as the finale approaches. It is this emotional foundation that will make every twist more painful and every victory more meaningful. Because when the truth finally explodes into the open, it will not just break alliances or topple enemies, it will pierce the hearts of those bound by love, loyalty, and blood. The first glimpse of the finale trailer is more than just a preview, it is a warning. Every frame feels heavy with meaning, as though the story is whispering that the end will not come quietly. The trailer begins with silence, broken only by the sound of footsteps echoing in the dark. It is a simple image, yet it carries so much weight. Who is walking? Where are they going? And more importantly, what truth are they carrying with them? The next flashes move quickly, like pieces of a puzzle scattered across the floor. A door slamming shut, a hand trembling as it reaches for a letter. The sharp look in a character's eyes, as if they've uncovered something they were never meant to see. None of these moments last more than a second, but together they create a sense of urgency. As though the walls of secrecy are collapsing faster than anyone can stop them. Then the trailer shifts, the voices begin. Snippets of dialogue echo in the background, promises made, warnings shouted, and whispers of betrayal. We do not hear full conversations, only fragments. But that is enough. Because in those fragments we hear fear, anger, and desperation. Each word seems to be pulled from the edge of breaking, and it is impossible not to wonder who will be left standing once those words turn into actions. The imagery grows sharper, darker. A candle snuffed out in the middle of a hall. A sword drawn under the cover of night. A family table turned into a battlefield of glares and silence. These are not just random shots. They are symbols. The candle extinguished could mean the end of a bloodline. The sword could mark betrayal. The family table, once a place of trust, now represents the fracture that will define the finale. Finally, the trailer closes with a single haunting moment. A figure standing alone, their face hidden in shadow. Their voice trembling with the words, "Blood remembers, it is not a promise. It is not a threat. It is a truth." And with those words, the screen fades to black, leaving us with questions that will not be answered until the finale unfolds. This trailer doesn't simply tease the ending, it prepares us for it. It tells us that every lie, every secret, every choice has led to this final moment. And when the screen fades to black, one thing becomes clear. The finale will not be about survival alone. It will be about legacy, about truth, and about the cost of blood as the finale approaches. The trailer makes it clear. Not every character will survive the storm, but some will stand at its very center. These are the figures whose choices will shape the end, whose voices will echo long after the screen fades to black. First, we see the parents, the ones who have carried secrets for too long. Their presence in the trailer is quiet but heavy, like shadows looming over the next generation. Every glance they share, every silence they keep, hints at truths they can no longer protect. It is clear that their actions, or perhaps their confessions, will spark a chain reaction that cannot be undone. They are the keepers of the past, and the finale will finally force them to reveal what they have buried. Then, the children, the ones who demand answers. Throughout the season, they have searched for identity,